Stop. Welcome back to another episode of the Muse. We talk about anything creative. I'm your host, Nasim, with
Ezra. And what are we talking about today, man?
Bro, today we're going to be talking about our 5 essential habits to become a productive, more effective, better, smarter, more talented artist.
Couldn't say it better. So, I feel like to best, get into this topic, I think it's good to have, a good, solid list. Obviously, it's not going to encapsulate everything, but I feel like it's a good list. So I want to hear, what do you think are your top 5 advice or techniques or just things that I feel like every artist should have?
Okay, so my top 5, I got it right here, top 5 right here. Okay, I got journaling ideas.
Okay, solid.
Having an organized space. Find artists that you look up to. In other words, God damn, I'm going to say it one more time. Find artists that you look up to. In other words, find your muse. And learn to add skills to your skill bank. Also, find opportunities to promote yourself as an artist. And not just find, create opportunities to promote yourself as an artist.
I mean, personally, I feel like that's a really good one, because when it comes to being an artist, especially nowadays with social media and everything, you have to promote yourself. That's the most valuable thing you have to do. You have to keep pushing and promoting and staying consistent. So that's a good one.
But also just not being shy. I'm not even talking about just in the workplace. With a lot of artists or just people, closed mouths don't get fed. So in any situation, you should wear who you are. If it's an artist, you identify with being an artist on your sleeve, So, I'm an artist. This is what I do. This is my work. For example, I'm a photographer. If someone's saying, oh, I need a wedding photographer, I need a party photographer, I can't see this on the shoot, I can see whatever. If I'm not confident, I'm not going to say anything or just expect them to, ask me. No, I have to tell them, oh, that's great. Well, I do photography. If you ever need a photographer for anything, I got that. Well, listen, I'm a fine artist. I'm an illustrator. This is what my work looks like. Or within any situation, you got a new job, you're meeting new friends. What do? Not, I just have fun, I chill. No, I make art, Yeah. This is what I do with my time.
I mean, that's one of the things where I meet someone and I talk to someone, as some of the first thing I say is, hello, how you doing? My name's Ezra, I'm an artist. Mm-hmm. Or I actually don't even like just saying artist, period. Because sometimes, depending on at the moment of time, because when you're an artist, you always go through different phases. Right. But I was say, hey, I'm Ezra, I'm an artist, I'm an illustrator, I'm a creative, I'm a podcast, whatever it is that you feel like is important to you at the time. It's good to introduce. That's part of yourself, and a lot of people don't consider that part of themselves. But it's what you do in your daily, so it's it's part of your character.
Definitely. I think one of my favorite points that I hit is also find artists that you look up to and stuff like that. Yeah. Just have know your interests, know the people that inspire you. Yeah. There's one quote, I forget who say it, but it's if you just are inspired by one person, people are gonna be you're gonna be the next this person. For example, a lot of people is inspired by Basquiat and stuff like that. So bro, you're just gonna be the next Basquiat, you know what I mean? But if you're inspired by multiple people, over 100, they don't be dude, this guy is unique, even though you're taking components from every single one of those people. And this channel right here is all about finding your muse, and I think that's having your muse is just very essential when it comes down to being a successful creator.
Sure. Yeah, because honestly, that also leads to when you find artists you look up to, you have to also, it's good to look in other mediums because a lot of people look, say you're an illustrator, you look at other illustrators. It's also good to look at directors, look at dancers,
right.
Look at, say for instance, I'm mainly into comics. Look at fine artists, look at people who just do editorial illustration to get different senses of ways you can use comedy, different senses you can use storytelling. So there's a lot of places you can pull from, and don't stay closed-minded.
Yeah. 100%.
One thing.
Think about it, even within music now is even using comedy aspects that promote their music. I think one of the funniest artists is Drake. Drake he has a very, very comedic tone to his work. He doesn't like Drake for some reason, but he has a very comedic tone to his work, and I think that makes him more digestible. He comes off like a regular person, because you can joke with him. But let's go to yours. What's your list? Let me see what your list is looking like.
I got my list right here.
Let me see what your list is looking like.
So I decided, listen to a list, I decided to go a little bit unconventional, to have different points. But the first thing I put is stay active, stay fit.
Okay.
Romanticize your practice.
All right.
Embrace impulsiveness. Stop making art at times. We're going to get into that.
All right.
Don't compare yourself to other artists.
I love that. I love that last one.
And those, I feel like those are like 5 that, obviously I do definitely agree with a lot of those and it's more, but those 5 are really good. Because these are things I wish someone told me. Because some things are like, you can find by common sense. And some things you just don't know of, and unless someone can tell you, even though it may seem so obvious. You need someone to put it there for you.
I find it interesting you said stop making art at times. When this guy's a workhorse, he never stops, he's never satisfied. And who told you that actually, and what made you want to put that on your list?
So basically, I like you said, I like to create a lot, but sometimes it's good to really value those moments where it's just quietness, where you can re-heal and reconsume, or even just relax and take your mind off of it. Because when it comes to creating, it's like a lot of times you find your best ideas in the shower, or best ideas taking a walk, or best ideas where you're just not even related, where you're not thinking related to it at all, because that right there gives your mind a freedom to it's not being pressured on. It's like like it's just like when you work out, it's like you're always like you're straining those muscles and things, but you need those rest days to help it grow. So I feel like that's what it is. It helps you get that freedom to grow and to let your brain naturally
you're not forcing
develop.
It.
Exactly.
I like that. I like that a lot. When it comes to romanticizing work, how do you build that romantic attachment to your work and basically to have that relationship to be able to blossom to something strong?
I feel like so first let me explain why romanticizing your work is good. Because a key component to making work is being consistent, being on top of it, and being your own motivator.
Okay.
Like, you want to be the person that puts yourself in the studio, that gets yourself in the zone, that gets yourself to create that work. Because it's hard to stay productive at all times, especially with things like social media and stuff. We'll get into that later.
Yeah.
But I feel like to get to that process, you have to really love. You have to really, like, enjoy everything you're doing in that moment. And a lot of people are thinking about money and this and that and family problems and this.
Yeah.
But you gotta really enjoy that as another part of yourself, as a way to express yourself. Because like we said in other videos, it's about language. It's another form of communication.
Right.
So I feel like if you can fall in love with the idea of making, the lifestyle of making and creating, it's like it's gonna be hard not to be consistent and not be productive.
Right. And know your love language when it comes to art. You know, like treating that person like your spouse, or treating art like your spouse, and knowing, okay, I like art, or I consume art better this way. I create art better this way, you know, under these conditions.
Yeah.
So understand that rhythm that you get.
Because like what I said, like one of the tips I put was embrace impulsiveness. And what I mean by that is, like, sometimes I have ideas, like you said, journal. Like, I feel like when you journal, you have to write good and bad ideas.
Yeah.
Because you never know when you'll come back to the idea, like, say, in the shower, when you're not making art. You might be like, oh, I just thought that idea can be translated to this and this and that and the third. So being impulsive means when you have an idea, sometimes it's great to just attack things.
Right.
Or I say that sometimes we always have odd times of being creative. Like, it could be 3 a.m. and stuff. Granted, if you're stay healthy, stay focused. But on your body, because body power is mind power. But there's times where you just have to attack the piece. Like, some projects may seem like they're overbearing and overwhelming, and you just need to just go for it.
I see.
And see, because that helps you get the technique of failing faster. It helps you understand that not everything's going to work out, and also learning quicker.
I see.
Because, for instance, you can be making more and more pieces, like you're practicing inking. The more pieces that you ink, the better you get at inking. Right. And you learn what doesn't work faster.
And I like that because it's basically practicing volume over perfection. I think a lot of times we want to have perfection in our work, when really, how can we expect anything to be perfect if we never even did it, if we never attempted something new? So why are we trying to incorporate this level of perfection within ourselves if this is something, it's a new process for us? So I think volume, like you're saying, is definitely key, because with volume you can see what's working, what's your style, what's your voice within that work, and of course voice, what's your language in that work, and how can I incorporate all these components that's working properly into a successful piece. Because many artists are known for maybe one piece, 5 pieces. I mean, if you're lucky, you're known for more than 5, but like when I think about like Leonardo da Vinci. I can think about the Mona Lisa, just one piece. Of course, if you're in that art world, you are, investing, more pieces than just that. Yeah. But it's about volume, because it's probably so many more pieces that you never even seen before in your whole life that will never see the light of day, because all those pieces you needed to make that one piece.
Exactly. So, and of course, like when I was saying stay fit, a lot of times, like, I feel like when I was first started creating, I was like, oh, I'm an artist. I wasn't that invested into like working out and being active, but to be like, we were at art school together in high school doing drawing, and we remember drawing on the things, and sometimes we'll be tired faster because our posture wasn't the best.
Yeah.
When we have a good posture and good energy, we're gonna create longer, and we're not gonna be tired out faster. So I feel like having a healthy body is a good tip that not a lot of like people tell artists. Mm-hmm. Because it's something that kind of like passes people's minds.
I get
but
that.
Stay active, stay fit, because it helps you with that longevity.
I feel you. One thing that you talked about, I don't know if you talked about it so far. You said we was gonna touch on it, but staying off the phone.
Staying off the phone. Throw that shit.
Throw the phone. What's important? Why staying off the phone important to you?
Because so with the phone is like, obviously we talked about in a previous episode about inspiration, right? And how Instagram is like, you're scrolling, it's always going to be inspiration. It's always going to be so much stuff that you're consuming. Mm-hmm. And I feel like inspiration is good, but you have to limit it to like, because you can't it's like when you're studying, you can't process all the information at once. You got to go bit by bit. And here's another thing, is like, that's regardless of inspiration, but it also drags you in. We both did this recently, where on your phone you can set up a thing that gives you a time limit.
Yeah.
Right? And essentially, like, my time limit is like 30 minutes. And we're talked about how, like, when that timer comes up, you're like, okay, I've been on here too long. It's kind of a reminder, because you can get lost in the phone so easily.
That's true.
3 hours go down the drain just like
that. That's true. And like, one thing I like to say is that life is about minutes. Yeah. I was talking to one of my friends. I said, they said, why is your car clock off by a minute? Mm-hmm. Then like the actual time. I said, because life is about minutes. Yeah. I think a minute is the smallest metric you can measure your life with. Because at the end of the day, if I'm dictating the minutes, I'm honestly dictating the moments in my life, the passing moments. Saying, bro, for the last 2 minutes or the last minute, I just spent scrolling on Instagram. Or the last minute, I was just doing nothing, playing the video game or whatever. If I'm dictating my minutes, I'm actually dictating my life. Okay, within these minutes, these next 15 minutes, I'm going to be creative. Within these next 15 minutes, I'm going to learn something new. I'm going to read something. I'm going to do something productive. And when you're spending most of your minutes doing something productive, you're living a more productive life, and you're really pulling from something that's going to help you build whatever you're trying to build, Yeah. Like with us, what do we spend our minutes doing now? Like researching things that we want to talk about. Finding more things, how to like have a better setup within our podcast and things like that. And when you're doing those things that's successful, it makes things come up better.
And like I said, like with those time limits, it's like it makes my time more precious on it. Like when I'm on there, I'm gathering inspiration. I'm talking to friends, I'm talking to family. I'm researching, and like that scroll time is completely eliminated now. As you can see, like, bro, I used to send you mad videos. Mad videos.
I'm like, yo, how can this man send me so many memes, bro?
Mad videos. But now it's just like, I got to the point where I barely send anything at times.
Facts.
So,
and I miss them sometimes, honestly.
I gotta just hire somebody to do it for
right.
me.
When you send me all those memes, like, bro, this is actually like a part of my day that I have to spend.
It's part of the routine.
First 20 minutes I wake up, God damn, you sent me 20 videos. God. Okay, not funny. Yeah. All right, that was funny. All right, inspirational.
And I never tell you why I said it.
Right.
But that leads to like also build routines. Because like, do you have a routine that you do like
morning routines?
Yeah, I mean any routine. Do you have like a daily routine that
Yeah, I got daily routines and stuff like that. Of course, you got your face wash routine. Of course, when I wake up, I like to make my bed. I like to pray, meditate. Yeah. And that's when I'm using my minutes correctly and I don't go straight to the phone and I just do something productive, which is maybe read, which is maybe edit, which is maybe see the pictures that I took, like photography wise, and understand, okay, I gotta edit these pictures, I gotta send these pictures to this person. Just being productive.
Yeah, like I feel like part of my routine is now I started to go to sleep from 10 to 12, right? Mm-hmm. And that makes me wake up from 5 to 7.
Okay.
5 a.m. to 7 a.m. And the first thing I do when I get up is I stretch. I stretch, stay active. I stretch. I do some workouts, and then I like to from there I actually like to start like doing a little bit of writing, because I feel like being creative is about reflecting. So sometimes I like to write down like things that are on my mind, dreams I had, things that I feel like new creative ideas. And from there I either go straight to thumbnailing, like I start working on new pieces, or sometimes I go into working on stuff that I already worked on before.
That's great.
And the days ranges. Don't be too hard on yourself.
What's some things that you're reluctant about? Because I see many people say like this is a successful habit to have, is get the reluctant stuff that you don't want to do out the way first. For example, working out. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna be honest. I don't really like to lift OD. So yeah. I know when I get that out the way, I feel as though, I got out the way. Now the rest of my day, I'm doing things that I'm actually more passionate about, but those things must be done. So what's some things that you're reluctant about that you could start busting out quicker?
I mean, I feel like that was a day thing, like a tip that I had, but I just decided to take it off for more value ones. But one thing I had is knock out the grunt work in the AM. Okay. So in the AM, it's like, if I have to, emails like, like when we post content, it's like you have to get that content ready. Yeah. Knock out all the stuff that your brain, of course your brain's gonna be there, but you don't need it to really burn as hard. So like you said, working out, and sometimes, or even cook. Like sometimes I like to prep meals. So cook in the morning. Yeah. Like if you have the whole day, if you busy, you want to get to work, sometimes it's good to cook your dinner for the week in the morning. And just get all the stuff that you feel like you would procrastinate on.
And procrastinate. Because the one thing I also know is like the stop procrastination is this thing called like a 2-minute rule. Yeah. If you can get it done in 2, and I like how you said doing things in the AM. If the AM and you look at everything you can do, like those emails, those organizing your video content, your reels and all that stuff. If you can do all that stuff within 2 minutes, get it done, because 2 minutes is easy. As well as when you're starting something new, starting things for only 2 minutes a day, so you're starting things cause you can't study for 2 minutes a day. How can you expect to study for an hour a day? Yeah. So if you can get it done in 2 minutes, get it out the way.
That's like the model. It's really just do it. To just do it model.
It's really just do it, but also like it makes us know like, bro, it's a metric in your head that you know that, okay, it takes 2 minutes for me to send an email, to type up at least a draft, to get started something, Let me get started on that and just have that ready, so when it's time, it's time.
I mean, that's like, I was talking to a friend of mine, and he was basically saying that he realized like things like taxes and stuff doesn't take that long. And there's like, I forgot what it's called at the moment, but it's basically a method of 25 minutes, 5-minute break, 25 minutes, 5-minute break, 25 minutes, 5-minute break. And what it does is like, when you have menial tasks, like say taxes, emails, like some writing, things like that, some thumbnailing, whatever it is, talking to a client, figure out a price, whatever. That way makes it so that you can realize that you get a lot of things done in that time span. You say you're like, oh, boom, I gotta do some taxes, right? You're like, okay, that takes under 30 minutes to do. Right. It takes like if you've been doing it for a while, it takes like 15 minutes to, not even 15, like 10 minutes to put your information in and go through it, depending on what type of forms you have to do. Right. So that's another way people do to eliminate procrastination. Is like, just do it, but also give yourself a time frame that's
and a metric that you can measure yourself off of, like how successful. For example, like I said, life is about minutes. If I know that I'm living my life by the minute correctly, then I'm being like, bro, I use these last 15 minutes, I did good, This last minute, I did good. That last minute, I already spent doing dumb shit. But one thing is, out of all these things we talk about, what is one thing that when you apply to your life, it changed your life immensely, or just quickly?
Which I haven't actually talked about yet was, don't compare myself to other artists. Okay. That helped me out a lot, especially for the type of person I was. Because, I mean, this might not be for every artist, but when I first, when I first saw artists that I looked up to, I was like artists like Kim Jong-gi, or James Dean, or like, I don't know, maybe like Mobius, definitely. Mm-hmm. But like, I would be I'll be like, oh, I make my work and I look at these artists like, why, like I'm not good enough yet because it's not on this level or this level, and I was comparing myself to other artists, which made me ultimately a sad person, because that's one thing, like you have to let go of negative thoughts, and I feel like those negative thoughts was consuming and hensing my creativity and stopping my productivity because I was so critical of myself.
Yeah.
And I feel like when I actually lost train of thought for a second.
It's interesting that you say you were comparing yourself to Mobius and like Kim Jong-un, because like I definitely related to that. Like I think a lot of artists do, because for example, a critique is almost impossible not to compare yourself to your peers, you know? And sometimes it can be very upsetting when you know what you want to do within your work, but you're allowing a lot of other people's talents to sidetrack you from your skill set and your ability.
Do you feel like you ever had a problem with comparing yourself to other artists?
Hell yeah. I compare myself to you all the time, bro. Swear to God. Swear to God, but not on like some hater shit. I'm like, damn, like, bro, like for example, I really like your illustration ability, and like how you say how you never had to really like draw with reference and stuff like that. I know you use reference a little bit more now, but like I'm like, damn, like Ezra, I always brag like Ezra doesn't use reference. He doesn't do this. He doesn't do that. So I'm like, in my head, I thought I'm like, bro, I should be able to. I should be able to.
Ego.
Right, but the thing is, like, bro, you understand? I'm not really too diverse in art history and stuff like that. So, like, when I'm looking at you, I admire you, and I'm just like, damn. So that's how an artist, an illustrator, is supposed to look like, to be able to draw from their head to that ability. So, you know, I used to be like, bro, I can draw a still life or something, but I really can't draw because Ezra can draw from time. You feel me? Like, I can draw. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. But I can't draw like you, and that's okay. But at some point, I never let it get me down to a point where it allowed me to be upset. It's just more that I just had an unrealistic expectation about drawing.
Well, because it's like, I probably said this before, I'm going to say it again. I'm probably going to say it in more videos. Be a better you every day.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like setting, which is also another tip that I kind of like, is setting smaller goals for yourself to accomplish that motivates you to keep going. So, for instance, every piece just get a slightly better. Be like, oh, that was me yesterday. I'm gonna get better the next day. I'm gonna get better the next day, and compare it to your last self, your old self. Because that's the only thing that really matters. As long as you're better yourself, you'll feel more confident. You'll feel more you feel like you want to go more. You feel motivated, and your brain will be more open to ideas and stuff because you don't have no ego, like negative ego, or to compare yourself to these artists, because all you care about is just being a better version of yourself.
That's true. And like legit, you can have positive, healthy ideas, or just, you know, understanding what type of artist you are at this moment, you know. But one thing I wanted to say is, for me personally, I think one thing that changed my life immensely is journaling. You know, journaling helped me with damn near everything on this list. You know, finding things that I'm interested in, finding myself. For example, when I started journal, you know, the song, Kendrick Lamar's song, The Heart Part 5 came out. And I came up with so many ideas within photography.
What?
You look like Kendrick Lamar in that video, bro. With your hair. But basically, I'm saying, like, with that song, like, it helped me come up with so many ideas that I already related to within my experience living in the inner city and stuff like that. So, definitely journaling helped me just understand how to track my ideas, track my inspirations, track where I want my work to look like, and help manifest my work, you know? Just in all aspects, manifest. So I want to actually take the conversation, because I know we're running on time, is let's make a list. Our prime list of 5 things what's between your stuff and my stuff. What we say our 5 is right now.
Okay, so from yours, I would have to say
we're doing a draft right now.
I would have to say journaling ideas is a good one.
Journaling ideas.
I would have to say journaling, and I definitely feel like it's underrated to organize your space.
Okay, so we might put that, but I'll get the next pick. You don't get 2 picks, bro.
Okay.
So journaling ideas. All right. I really mess with the most. I do like not comparing yourself, but I feel though in order to have a consistent work pace is romanticizing your practice.
Yeah.
Because when you romanticize your practice, you're going to talk about it more and you're going to share it more, honestly promoting yourself more. So I think journaling ideas and romanticizing your practices, that's number 2.
Okay. So obviously I feel like like I said, staying fit is important, but I think that's a life lesson. That's a life lesson. Staying active. So I don't think that one's as important for like an art habit, but I do like if I honestly, there's a lot of good ones here. I feel like finding artists that you look up to, or like finding your muse, is very important because it's kind of like art parents, and I definitely think like in my opinion that's like a good top 5 is to find that inspiration.
Definitely having your art parents, having people that like, bro, this guy legit showed me what art could be like.
Yeah.
You know, and also like we said, like in past episodes, seeing what you connect to. Like I love a lot of old advertisement works, you know, and I connect to that a lot. So I want to see how can I take those components alongside a whole bunch of other things and bring them together to have my art style be what I want. Okay, so that's great. Another thing, we don't want to go to my second thing is don't compare. I think don't compare is essential. It's definitely essential. So we got organized, we got journaling ideas, we got romanticizing your craft, finding your art parents, finding your muse, as well as don't compare. That's 4.
Honestly, to be honest, I feel like it's hard to take out like organized space, but I feel like to combine all that to combine organized space and combine like stop making art is to collect your spiritual and collect your like focus, because I feel like it's important to have your space around you clear, your brain clear, to release, to relax, and to that opens yourself up to bringing more creativity to pull from life. I don't know what would be a great way to summarize that.
But I think like basically the difference between a house and a home, you know, when you're in a house, you know, it's temporary. You don't really feel integrated in there. But when you're in a home, you know, like that's where you, like you said, you can really relax. You can find inspiration. You can
level yourself.
You can level yourself, and you can feel balance in that piece and really express yourself deeper as well when you're in your own home. For example, like if I'm in school, they're not going to be understanding the real me as you see me in my house. I'm in my home with my people around me, how I act. That's interesting. You really like that a lot. I honestly thought my 5th one would be always learning something new. Always learning something new, like finding ways to add new things to your craft. Because that's super important to me. Like, I'm a YouTube kid, so I'm a YouTube baby. Every time I hop on, every time I want to learn something new, or I come to a fork in the road, I go straight to YouTube and I just research it and I just build on my ability. I learned most of my photography stuff through YouTube. I learned how to make a website through YouTube. So YouTube, I think, is essential to coming up with different ideas and putting skills towards your skill bank. Because I think having this overall skill bank, like I know how to draw, I know how to perspectively draw, I know how to paint, I know how colors affect other colors and stuff, like color theory and things like that.
So you think learning new skills?
Yeah. I think learning your skills, because organized space is important, but what will you do?
It wasn't more like just organized space.
But
it was more like leveling your mindset.
Facts. But what can you do if you can't do that? You know, like if you're in a whole other country.
I feel like you should always be able to level your mindset.
That is true.
Because it's like, in a sense, it's like meditation in a sense. It's like, because it's hard to create without your mind being leveled. And when I mean leveled, I don't mean like, I meant like focused, which I guess that does go into romanticize your practice.
It does a bit.
So,
but look, I want to convince you. I don't want to just win. I want to dominate.
Okay.
When it comes to adding onto your skill bank, will you think your work will get stagnant or a little stale if you're never adding new components and not trying to learn new things?
Well, then again, it's like when you say finding your muse, like I feel like there's gonna be like say I decide to just ink and just ink for the rest of my life. I feel like I wouldn't be adding more skills, but I would be still pulling from my inspirations and just finding more
ways to ink though. Yeah. You'll probably be introduced to new artists.
But yeah, but isn't that like finding your muse?
That is finding your muse for sure, but I also think that adding to your skill bank and always trying to learn something new means like, how can I work more effectively? What other stylized things can I add? Okay. How to hatch cards, like just different components that can change your life. You know how when someone taught you how to draw this way or how to shade this way, you're like, bro, that made things way easier. Now my work can just keep on developing, because you would never get to this level if you never kept on applying more and more skills to broaden your scope of things that you can.
All right, we're gonna put it on there. We're gonna put it on there.
No.
No.
I want you to say that I'm better. I'm joking.
But all right, so we have we just ended off with the top 5, and you can call it.
All right, we got general ideas. We got. Damn, bro, I got you close your book.
Yeah, I can't.
Okay, we have
memorize.
All right, let's say it together. A little clean for the video. Okay, we have general ideas. Romanticize your practice. Don't compare yourself. Find your muse. Find artists that you look up to, and add to your skill bank. Did I miss one?
I feel like that was 6. Our brains are different.
You say one. You say it.
I'm gonna say it then. Join your ideas. Romanticize your practice. Don't compare yourself to other artists. I said that first.
Do we have 4?
Wait, no, because look, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you didn't circle it. That's why.
Oh, that's why.
Learn. All right, let's do this again. Okay, let's do this again. Journal ideas.
Okay.
Romanticize your practice. Don't compare yourself to other artists. Learn new skills or add to your skill bank.
And find artists you look up to and find your muse. There we go, guys. That's the episode. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. I know we got a little bit awkward at the end. I blame it on Ezra. Thank you so much. Find your muse. And we're out.